got a guest in the studio we're very excited about and delighted that he took time out of his schedule to come on by and visit us before he, rides off into wherever maestros go. Is it a sunset?
Is maestro the right word? Is that what we're supposed to use? Conductor?
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency. I've dealt with a lot of conductors. That's about right.
Stephen Larsen from the Rockford Symphony Orchestra is here in the studio with us. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. I said to you off the air, what are you going to do with yourself now that you're calling it a career with the RSO?
Well, I've got a year and a half to go before I really have to
think about
that question, because I'm announced my retirement for the end of the 2021 season. So
right.
My last concert officially will be in May of 2021. So I've got some work to do before then, and by that time, I might decide to go to med school or something.
Your guy can do it all. Guy can do it all. Now you've been at the helm since '91. Is that correct?
1991.
Wow.
It was before you were born.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I wish that were so true. A lot of changes over that time period, including one of the things that jumps right out at me is how many concerts the RSO was playing before and how many you do now.
Well, we did 5. We had 5 concerts the year I came in, and now we're doing about 16, depends on the year. Sometimes a little more than that. So, we had no pops. I started the pops series. We started with the holiday pops, and then added another one, and another one, and another one. So now we have 4 pops concerts and 6 classics concerts. We do the Nutcracker with the Rockford Dance Company, and a youth concert, educational concert, and the 4th of July, or the 3rd of July concert, actually.
Sure.
Yeah. And a couple others that pop up during the year.
What were you doing before 91? How'd you fall into RSO?
I was the principal conductor of the Chicago Opera Theater.
Okay.
And in Chicago, and I've been there actually for 13 years. So saw this job opening. It's just something. I just felt that there was something right about Rockford for me. And I said, okay, I'm going to go for this. And the funny thing is, I almost didn't. They almost didn't give me the job. They almost didn't even give me an interview because I was an opera conductor.
Oh, okay.
And I thought this is absurd because anybody in the music business knows that that's the best way to get started at conducting is to do opera because you have to do everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So anyway, they finally came to their senses.
And we're all glad they did. We're all glad they did. Now, what's the interview process like? So, we think about our jobs and our interviews and things like that. Wildly different. What do they have you come in and see how it was? What's your baton work like?
That's video that, or they come and see your conductor. That's taken care of at that. But they want to talk to you and see what how you deal with people and what your ideas are for the growth of the orchestra. And part of, besides just waving your arms at people, the major part of being a conductor is just being a psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to figure out how to persuade people to do what you want them to do. I know you could tell them, do it my way or else, but that ultimately doesn't get you very far.
Right.
You have to make them think that, yeah, this is the right way. We're going to all work together and do this.
Well, you've done an admirable job of doing just that because, if anything, it seems like everybody's, obviously on the same sheet of music. Sorry, but there's the pun. But people do get behind you. You have and you continue to motivate and get the absolute best out of that orchestra.
Well, I try. Just one of the things I'm probably most happy about is that this orchestra. There's some people that actually were there before I came. They're still playing. This is a nice group of people. They enjoy playing together. They get along with each other, and that's not always the case.
Sure. You remember your experience? Oh, we got to ask him if he even remembers you.
Oh, you absolutely don't remember me at all. I did. I played for Reso.
Right. Yeah. I was told that. I don't remember. I've only conducted Reso a handful of times.
No, but I played percussion for Reso, and then sometimes you need you have 6 percussionists. You need a 7th for the triangle or the bass drum or something. And I got called up to the big show once or twice and played, back at the Midway Theater or something.
Oh, okay.
One movement of the 5-hour concert or something like that. Just the life of a percussionist can be tough in the symphony sometimes.
Yes, lots of counting measures.
Lots of counting measures. I always appreciated when my conductor didn't make me, and he would just look at me because you're about up. Thank you. I appreciate that. So if you take care of your percussionists, we do like that. But I'm sure you started in music growing up, playing an instrument as a child.
Yeah, I played trumpet in the grade school band.
When did you cross the Rubicon into I like playing trumpet, I think I'm good at it, to I want to be the guy in front?
Sometime when I was in college, probably about my third year of college or something, and
did you go to college for music?
Yeah, I started out at North Park College. Well, North Park College, now it's North Park University. Actually, I was in pre-med when I started, and then transferred to a now defunct school called the American Conservatory of Music. And everybody has to take a conducting course at some time or another. It's just part of the curriculum. And my teacher said, you got kind of a knack for this. It is true. You either have a physical knack for conducting or you don't. It's something you can teach, but some people do it more naturally than others. And I thought, well, what the heck? I'll give this a try. No, I didn't realize that was a dumb thing to do right there. Because after some years later, I got the master's degree in conducting from Northwestern, and I went and applied for my first job, interviewed for my first job in Salem, Oregon. It was a $5,000 a year job.
Okay.
They said, well, this is crazy. We've had 200 people apply for this job, including the principal cellist of the San Francisco Symphony. He's willing to move up here and conduct the orchestra. And I realized right then that conducting wasn't a profession. It was a mental illness. This is crazy.
For $5,000, ready to shelve it all and move up there.
He's right. I've known numerous conductors. They're an interesting group.
So, when it comes down to, I told our board when I announced my retirement, I said, you're going to be amazed. You're going to have hundreds of people apply for this job. And you're going to look at these resumes and go, holy smokes, this person wants to conduct here? This is a very highly desirable position. And they're going to have no trouble finding great talent to replace me.
So Rockford felt right to you. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're spending some time with Stephen Larsen from the Rockford Symphony Orchestra. So Rockford seemed like there was a vibe. There was something that you picked up.
And I'd never been here before,
right?
So I don't know why.
But that's the fun thing, that just something jumped out of your head and said, this, you should go do this. You should go at least investigate and see where this can go.
Right.
When did it dawn on you that, I got to listen to that little voice more often? It was right.
Well, maybe it never dawned on me again because I haven't moved since. So.
Right.
I've been here since 1991, and then I really never thought I would be. I thought, well, I'll give this 5 years and we'll see where this goes. But everything just kept getting better and better. And I thought, well, why jump off the horse when everything's you're winning the race? So.
When did it kind of switch here in town? Like you said, you went from 5 concerts a year, to our 16 show season.
Midway to the Coronado.
Yeah, was there a time when you're like, oh, this city's actually starting to get it, and I might have something here?
The big change was the move to the Coronado, because I still remember that we had the first 2 rehearsals we had in the Coronado. Each rehearsal, it seemed that the orchestra got 50% better than it was the day before.
Mm-hmm.
It was just amazing how everything pulled together once we were in that concert. And that's when things really got supercharged, I think, is when we moved to the theater there.
And there was just, we were going with the vibe again, but something about that vibe just inspired and brought out the best in people.
Yeah. You just, it's a beautiful place and comfortable to play on the stage. You can hear each other and it's nice, and I feel sorry for orchestras that have to play in places that are really substandard, that don't match up to that. We're very, very fortunate we have that wonderful theater in this town. We got
a year and a half to go. Is there any bucket list pieces that you want to get done before your last concert?
Oh, the bucket isn't nearly big enough to contain the pieces. There's I've got my last season program now.
You do?
Yeah. And I've got some on my bucket list pieces. There are pieces that unfortunately I had to take out of the bucket because there's just no way, not enough concerts.
What makes you cross a piece off the list?
Well, one is just not enough programs.
Okay.
You have to prioritize. You know, okay, would I rather do this piece or rather do this piece? Well, sometimes you just have to make a decision. Sometimes it's budget. There are some pieces I'd like to do, but realize that they're just too expensive. Too many people, too much rehearsal time, and frankly, there are some pieces that I like to do that I realize that probably the audience isn't going to like all that much. So I have to respect that.
They don't want to sit through this.
Yeah, the people that buy the tickets, that's very important. You have to think about what they want to hear.
Flipping that around, what have you performed and rehearsed and gotten ready to go that in your head, it's like, God, I hate this, but the audience just loves this. I don't like doing this, but man, they stand up, they love the hell out of this, and I just don't.
Well, I can't think of any, well, yeah, I can think of a couple pieces now. Okay, but most of the time, if the audience loves it, there's a pretty good reason for it. Audiences love good music. There's good music that they don't love because they just haven't gotten familiar with it, perhaps, but they haven't heard it enough. And you sort of wish you could play the piece twice. You know, so they, okay, now you've just sat through this piece for an hour. You're going to hear it again. Well, that's not going to work. But there are real crowd pleasers that we call them, war horses or chestnuts or something like that. That you realize every once in a while you have to play them because it just makes people happy. And, frankly, it makes the orchestra happy, too. It's fun to play.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Absolutely. William Tell overtures for me. Yeah, I hear that.
We're doing that this Saturday.
I want to stand up. I love that piece of music. I just absolutely love it. I thought that might be one. It's like, oh man, the Lone Ranger theme. Here we go. The crowd has to hear it.
Well, I think you're too young to remember the Lone Ranger.
You are so kind. You are so kind.
So we're wrapping up here. I have one question. So you mentioned you're a psychologist is part of the job. I've been around a couple of orchestras. Why do you think the bass players as a whole, I found, are so much cooler than the violinists? Because it's true, right?
He's got to go work with them now.
Well, you can maybe answer that with another question.
Sure.
Why are violinists' heads? Let's see. Remember the joke now. Why are the heads of violinists so much bigger than the heads of viola players?
Why?
No, that's not the joke. Oh, boy, I screwed this all up now.
Way to go, Joe.
Yeah.
Can't play straight man for 2 seconds?
Why are violas bigger than violins? Well, they're not. It's just the violinists' heads are bigger.
Yes.
I apologize. That's one thing to tell a terrible joke. It's another one. It's okay. Just to screw it all up.
It's okay. But I like the fact that you totally agree with me that the basis.
It's true. It's true. They're bass players. And
that was the group that you wanted to hang out with, the bass players.
Well, they're probably the one section of the orchestra that historically could they could walk out of the concert hall and go to the jazz club.
Yes. Okay.
And just,
little hipper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a very diplomatic answer. Okay.
If someone came to you and said, "Okay, you can take the stage with any orchestra in the world for a night. You're going to conduct this orchestra for a night in their theater," where would you go?
Probably the Concertgebouw Theater and the Concertgebouw Orchestra in Amsterdam. It's just that theater is just a beautiful theater, wonderful acoustics, and it's a great orchestra. I mean, there are a lot of other answers to that, but
sure,
just off the top of my head.
Top of your head.
Yeah.
And what's you listen to classical music all the time, or we got top 40 hits going on in your car right now?
Yeah, what's in the playlist in the car?
Actually, I don't listen to music that much because music's work.
Okay. Oh.
And if I listen to music, I usually have to be concentrating on it, and I don't always want to be concentrating on music. I remember driving back from Champaign one night very late. I used to conduct the orchestra down there. I was driving up 39, and about 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, listening to a piece of music was really getting me charged up. And I looked down, I was going 105 miles an hour.
Oh.
I go, whoa, okay, let's turn this off and think about driving here. It kind of takes over your head.
I would see that.
Well, it's the same thing. You and I get off the air. We do not immediately flip on talk radio to listen to more of it.
Absolutely
Then we make
not.
the flip over music.
Yes.
Right.
Because I don't want to think about it. I don't want to dissect what it is the person's talking about or whatever else. I just want to kind of float away on the music.
Mm-hmm. Before we get out of here, we'll put. You do have a concert coming up this weekend?
Yeah, this Saturday. Really cool concert. We call it the last night of the proms, which is the name of a concert they do in London. They have the prom series of concerts. And the last night, it's a really cool concert. 5,000 people, a lot of them standing, and they do a lot of patriotic stuff and singing along and doing silly things. And so we're trying to recreate that kind of an atmosphere here.
Is there a kind of concerted effort to make classical music fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, people talk about every once in a while, people will clap between movements, and that really ticks some people off. Oh, they shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
I always think, it's good that there's people clapping between movements because it shows that there are new people.
Yes.
They haven't been here before. And I said, the only proper response to people clapping when you play is to say thank you.
Yes.
You never shush them. Never say, you can't do that.
That's brilliant. That you talk about a big tent and opening your arms to welcome people in who know nothing about this sort of music at all, but want to get into it. Rather than, it's like you hear about bandwagon fans for a sport team. Oh, all these bandwagon fans. Oh, okay. Would you prefer the current crop that you have to live, get old, and die, and no one else jumps aboard? How do you get new people in? And it's with a fine attitude like that.
And 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people used to do that all the time. They'd clap between movements. They'd cheer. They'd insist that you'd replay the movement if they like it. You have to do it again.
Yes.
So no, let's open. Let's get a little bit less stuffy and
less stuffy's fun.
Right.
I think so too.
Enjoy it. Just this is not there aren't rules to being an audience member. Well, there are some rules.
Right. Just the normal
clapping
human
between
rules.
movements, I don't care.
No.
No, it means you're enjoying yourself.
Right.
Have a drink and have fun.
So the show is Saturday night?
Saturday night, 7:30, Coronado.
Absolutely.
Go to the Coronado's
Get out
website, get yourself some tickets. Don't miss out. Got a year and a half of you still before you run off. So we got time to come down and see you
That's
again
right.
ourselves.
there. We'll get you back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for taking time
Thanks,
out of
man.
your
My
day and
pleasure.
coming in with us. And thanks for what you've done since 91. A lot of us really appreciate it.